Hey everyone, it's Danielle. I am back with a little unboxing of Proving Grounds by Renegade Game Studios. It is a game by Klingon, and this is a solo hero series. And that means this is a solo only game. So I'm really excited about this one because obviously it's dice based, which as you know from my previous videos, those are my favorite type of games that include dice. So this is Proving Grounds. And it has this great storybook in addition to the rule book. It has this really nice storybook written by Monica Valentinelli and illustrated by Matthew Dobrich. So it's very nice, lengthy. I've yet to read through it. Honestly, I'm kind of like saving it. As odd as that sounds, I'm kind of saving it for a moment where I'm ready to really embark on this journey of Proving Grounds. And I really love that the focus is of this queen. It says, only the strongest has the heart of a wizened queen. And I think this is great representation for women. So this is the board. And depending on, I think, how many players you play with. Actually, I think it has to do with the expansion. You would put together the board a little bit differently. Or just have it on the other side. I believe I played on it this way. So when I played solo, I did play with it on this side. And then when you put it together, you might possibly need this piece, this dial, and this is for the expansion that actually, you know, comes with this game. So we have a couple components here, and I'll explain those. So this is the board. And I'll probably create a video with a more formal playthrough. I just want to show you the components and maybe you can get a better idea if you might like this game. But there is a couple of modules called Chariots, Shields, Sun, and Moon. So there's definitely some great expansion content in here. And then we have these cards. And these are the main cards that you would play with in the game. And if I could just grab this rule book, I'll try to use some of the actual naming conventions. So these are going to be a bunch of different cards, actually. So we have enemy cards, chariot cards, inspiration cards, and conspirator cards. So the only thing we'll be using is the enemy cards, at least in the base game. The enemy cards, and they really just look like this. I think the other cards are actually separated into this bag, and these have different backings, which is helpful. I always love when they have different backings, but these are just the 30 enemy cards. And how this works is basically you would just draw them and put them in each of these kind of like slots, and there's a total of 6. And you put the draw deck there. And then of course you have your dice. So when you play, you would get to use most of them. And then you also have these little components as well. This is the heart. This is to track where your heart level is. This is, you get 6 life essentially. And then these are trackers. So they all go into this kind of default box on each of them. And these trackers will go up and down. And these trackers will tell you what you need to roll within 1 minute. This is a timed game. I forgot to mention that. It doesn't come with a timer though. It doesn't come with like a sand timer or anything. But Renegade Game Studios, they have an app that controls the time for you, and it tracks everything if you wanted to. So that's pretty cool that they thought of that and they kind of implemented this app for it. But yeah, so these are the battle tracks basically. And say you roll a die that is a 3. If you have 3 of those here, then you can get this. So say you rolled, you could apply these 3s. And if you had 3 or more of them, you get to move up this track. Okay? So that's basically how it works. You have to try to roll the die so that the numbers match the corresponding dice value here, and then you can use that here. And colors do matter here, because as you can see on this Moon Queen representative, you have to get three or more blue or green dice there. And if for whatever reason, for instance, this clan elder says if you assign a single to this enemy, meaning you rolled only 1 to 4 out of all your dice, and that is considered a single, you have to move the battle marker down 2 spaces. So say it was here and you had to move down 2 spaces, you get on this icon that obviously does not look like good news. You get on this icon and it does affect you, so you go down 1. And obviously if you get to this point, it kind of is like a snake here. If you get to this point, then you do end up losing the game. But what's cool is that the white dice actually is set up so that you do gain dice as you kind of lose health. Not the white dice, but so they have green on the bottom, so that's what this icon is that you actually get dice. You can kind of power them up. And then when you get to this point, you actually get these attack dice. And so say you move on to the space of the health track with the stack of colored dice, you get to replace a die. So if you think that you need a yellow dice, you'll take a yellow dice and you'll actually swap out one of the white dice that you have for it, and it just gets removed from the game. So there's a lot of dice manipulation as well. I mean, this is pretty much dice manipulation for a whole minute of the game, but I like it because it makes you think quick, and somewhat of a dexterity game if you think about it that way, because you're rolling all this dice and you have to sort them quickly within a minute, and if you don't sort them quick enough, then you kind of miss out on possibly getting these cards, getting these people defeated. So after you were to roll your dice, you actually have to eventually like put dice here, and it kind of like goes down the line and you get them back eventually. But this is an interesting track, and I believe you also put dice here. As you can tell, it's been a while since I actually played this one, but there is a track there. Yeah, so this is called the exhaustion track. So you do start the game with 3. And then I'm trying to see if there's a reference for what that does. I don't see it too clearly right now, but I do want to do a playthrough of this, so stay tuned for that, and definitely subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on it. But yeah, this is pretty much the components of the game. Again, there are some expansion components here. I've yet to use them, but looks like a little dragon, and it has some instructions on the back for this expansion, this module. I think they call it modules, not expansion. And then here's another die that would be used in another module. And then, these are the rest of the other cards for the other modules. So, I've yet to actually play them, but I'm sure they're a lot of fun. But anyway, this is also the reference card as well. So this is definitely helpful. I usually just keep them here. But anyway, so this is a quick unboxing of Proving Grounds. Definitely exciting, but it's not too long of a game. Honestly, I think it lasted like maybe 15 minutes, if that. It's a very quick game, and I love filler games these days. I don't know why, just anything quick that I could set up that, you know, involves dice. And of course, you know, if you have a smartphone, you can use the app to track the 1 minute timer. Otherwise, you could use any timer that you have available to you. But that is important. You really can't play this game without having a timer to play with. Yeah, so let's see. I might do a playthrough of this, and I probably won't win. Although I did win a game. I think I played this 3 times, and I did win the final game I played. So who knows? Maybe I'll get that on camera sometime. All right. Have a good one.